Good morning. Good, beautiful morning today. The clouds are out, so there's not really much sun, but that's okay. There's beauty in the clouds too. They hold the water and they're transported through the air. I love clouds. Oh man. It's still pretty cold out, but you make do with the weather, right? Weather is not a factor that stops me from pursuing my best self, so it shouldn't stop you either, right? Now, I had a conversation yesterday. I had a conversation with my dad, and it really gave me some insight as to just what is truth, right? That's what I want to ask it. What is truth, right? What does it mean for something to be true, right? Because you can take one scenario, right? You can take one scenario, but people can have different perceptions of that same scenario, and that could be their truth. For example, right? Let's say, right? You have a teacher. The teacher is just standing in the hallway. Let's just go with that fact, right? The fact is the teacher is standing in the hallway, right? To one student, right? That could be, oh, that's my friend, right? Or friend, right? You shouldn't really. That's whatever. But some students are like, oh, like I love this teacher, right? She's awesome, or they're awesome, or he's awesome, right? And then another student's like, dang, I can't stand this teacher, right? Man, this teacher always, does X, Y, and Z, always picking on me, right? Two different truths, right? Because both things can be true, right? But like both of those students have their own perception of that teacher, right? And they perceive it to be true, right? And so, what does it mean to be true, right? I got to thinking, right? It's like, well, okay, I can perceive this thing to be one way, right? Or I could change it. I could change the truth of how I feel about that thing, right? And then change it into something else, something maybe more beneficial, right? So, for example, right, I could take the fact that like this is a rather recent example, right? Like I had a flat tire, and it was really aggravating, right? Because I couldn't pull the tire off because there's something with the something corroded inside of it, because the last person who put it on didn't put like an adhesive to prevent like the aluminum from expanding. That's my understanding anyways. I could be wrong, but anyways, I couldn't take the tire off, right? Like I was able to get the lug nuts off, and the tire or the car jacked up, but the tire itself wouldn't come off. It was pretty annoying. I had to get it towed, etc., right? And so I could look at that, right, and be like, man, this was stupid. This tire just would not come off. I feel pretty ashamed. It's like I feel like I should be able to do this, right? It's like because I've taken tires off before, but now it's not coming off. Or I could change it. I could change the truth of that. Be like, I learned a lot of new stuff. I learned how to better go about these things, and I have more experience now taking out tires, so I should be able to do this, or I will be able to do this more efficiently next time, right? And plus I have experience now with getting towed, right? That's my first time getting towed, so that's pretty fun. Just watching the dude tow the car. I'm sure it's not fun in most scenarios, right? But in that scenario, it's pretty fun. But see, that's another thing, right? Changing the truth. That I was like, that's pretty cool, right? Instead of being like, oh man, this is terrible. I'm getting towed. So, yeah, changing the truth of a situation, right? I heard a quote recently, and I think this is applicable to what I'm talking about. You make the laws of your reality, right? You make the laws of your reality. I'm gonna say it again. You make the laws of your reality. You can take something that you perceive as bad, and you could change it to maybe something that's good, or maybe not just solely bad, but a learning experience. It's like, I know now what not to do, and I'm thankful for this experience, right? You make the laws of your reality. And I'm learning this, myself, right? Just as a whole, I used to be very negative thinking, right? I used to be like, oh, I can't do this. Oh, like, this is going to go bad, right? My mom, she used to call me Eeyore, right, from Winnie the Pooh, right? Because that's how I behaved, right? And I hated that, right? I hated being called that, right? But that's how I was acting, and I didn't even realize it, right? I was like, oh, I can't do this. Oh, this is gonna go bad. Man, I'm gonna be late. Oh man, I'm gonna miss this thing. Man, everything's over, right? I used to act like that, right? And my reality reflected that. Sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes. And that was because I looked at it from that lens, that truth, right? But now, as I'm getting older, I realize more what my family has been telling me a lot throughout my life. It's like, what you say is what reality will be, right? Your word has power. And so I've been telling myself, like, instead of worrying about like the future, that was another thing I used to do. I'd be like, success comes inevitably for me. I say that every day. Success comes inevitably for me. And I know that as long as I keep putting my best foot forth, as long as I keep listening to what the universe tells me, as long as I go about life abundantly, right? Expressing gratitude and showing love instead of hate, I know that things will be all right. It's taken a long time for me to get to this point. How you doing? I'm doing pretty good, man. It's taken a long time for me to get to this point, right? Where it's like, it's not being negative. And because I used to internalize all the negative experiences that I had, and I used to put that as my reality. But now I changed the laws of my reality. It's like, these weren't negative experiences. These were necessary learning points for me to better go about being my best self, right? I needed these traumas. I needed these negative events that happened to me to build my character, right? That I'm pretty sure this is the same. Like, like, God gives his hardest battles to his strongest soldiers, right? And I mean, I know what I've gone through. I'm still here, right? And I know also that I have a lot to be grateful for, because I'm still here. So I know things will work out, because I changed the laws of my reality. I changed the truth. I changed my truth. I changed my truth from a things aren't gonna work out, or things will be super hard, to this will be fun, right? And I know that as long as I keep doing what I need to do, as long as I keep putting energy into bettering myself, right? Every day, doing the best I can, everything will work out. I feel much more love inside than before, because I would always say I was always a loving person, but I didn't love myself. And so now I definitely have much more of that inside of me, which in turn also gets projected outwardly into the universe, into the people that are in my life still, into nature, all of that. And I love it. I love being able to say, I woke up today, I'm super blessed. And I love being able to appreciate all the stuff that I have, and now sharing it, right? Sharing my thoughts, right? Hopefully, someone out there can resonate with what I have to say. Hopefully someone out there, what I have to say will help someone, right? Because that's one thing I've always wanted to do as a kid. I've always wanted to help people. I didn't know how, I didn't know what, but that's one thing I always wanted to do. So this is my way of helping someone out there who maybe needs to hear what I have to say. It's hard. I got this backpack on. I don't know if you can see it. I got this backpack. It's got weights in it. It's pretty hard, but it's okay, because it's not actually hard. The struggle is necessary for my growth, my personal growth. Oh. Anyways, yeah. You make the laws of your reality. Your reality can be whatever you want it to be. Just make sure that what you do is not at the detriment of other people, other things, because we are all one. So if someone is hurting, then we are all hurting. But yeah, that's what I have to say. I'm gonna enjoy the rest of this walk. It's a beautiful day outside. If you're listening to this, I love you. Thank you for being here. You matter. And I'll talk to you soon.